What I want to talk to you guys about today, I was thinking about retiring products, and how big of a deal it is, how big of a deal it's been for me over these last 15 years or so, especially since I've started Epic Conversions since 2016. Retiring products has been a really big deal, and it's funny because I think like when you first come online, at least when I first came online, one of the dreams, I'll call it pipe dream. I don't know if it's really a pipe dream, but one of the goals, for me was evergreen products. Like this idea of evergreen products where, you're just gonna have products on the market and those products are going to just live on the market for indefinitely, and they're just gonna, set up there and they're gonna make you money, indefinitely, right? Um, but what I found, and like the 15 and all the years I've been over a decade of launching digital products, what I have found is that, when you first launch a digital product, you have a lot of hype at the beginning, and that's good. And then it kind of dwindles down into kind of like trickle in sales. Now, of course, that's a little different if you're running ads to your product or you're advertising your product regularly. But still, I mean, generally, I don't know. I think generally you run ads, to build your email list, and then you promote through your email list. That's what I think. Um, but what I find is that with these products, like when I run a promotion to my email list, it picks up. It picks up, right? The sales pick up. And then that's going to depend on how big of a portion of my email list already has that product, or have already decided they don't want that product, or they do want that product, right? But by and far, a product is at its peak, right? When you first put it out, when it's brand new and nobody has it, right? That's when it's at its peak, right? So that's fine. That's the evergreen product, right? It's really popular, and then it kind of dwindles down to trickle in sales as it goes. What changes that? A big campaign, right? When you promote it, like maybe a year later, you promote it again, you're gonna have some new faces on your list, and you probably have done something to the product, right? You probably have added something to it, some kind of an update, something like that. The DLC, so to speak. You've added the extra thing to get people more interested in your product again. So what is that? What is that? I mean, that's basically not evergreen now, is it? It's not like, oh, I just put this product up there and set it and forget it. No, every time you wanted to spark more sales to that product and not just have like trickle in sales to that product, you had to, do something. You had to actively get involved in that thing. Right. So, anyways, so you start to realize after a while that the whole like idea of this evergreen product system, it's a little bit, off. It's a little bit skewed, right? But it's still good. I mean, it's still good. I mean, you can put out a product every month, and those products will continue to generate trickle in sales as long as, you have good offers, right? As long as the offers are good and, people hit that sales page and they're like, wow, I want this. Or if you got, affiliates who are continuing to promote for you, then, you can get sales on it and they'll continue to roll in, like one of my products, free traffic resources, I've taken it down, because I'm like infrastructure zero right now. But that product, is probably my highest selling, product of all time, and it continued to generate sales month after month after month. Why? Well, one, because the offer was, it's kind of like playing the hits, free traffic resources. Who doesn't care about free traffic, you know? So it's kind of playing the hits a little bit. And then it had affiliate support. It had affiliates that had taken it as a product and they have kind of like incorporated it into their systems. So people would buy my product to advance in their systems, right? So of course that's nice when you have something like that. Big Mike Searles in the house. What is up, man? Yeah, of course that's nice when something like that happens. But that's kind of the life of an evergreen product, right? It's a big push at first when you first launch it. and then, the sales kind of taper off and you got like kind of trickle in sales unless something happens, unless you got an affiliate who's supporting it, or unless you do like promotional campaigns for it, right? That's the life of an evergreen product. Not a big deal. And you could see where if you regularly put out evergreen products and you had like 100 evergreen products all trickling in sales to you every day, and all of them were really amazing offers and really cool, and people were captivated by them, you could see where this might make sense. Um, so there's another like kind of system besides the evergreen product system when it comes to digital publishing. And this is a system that I've kind of adopted over the years. I didn't start out with this system, but I kind of like moved to this system over the years. And this is the system of retirement, right? The retirement system. And it's really funny. I learned this system from watching Netflix, to be honest with you. Where I kind of first thought of the idea of retiring products was, and it's not like, oh, I invented retiring products. I'm sure other people have been doing this a long time. Of course, I know lots of marketers who use scarcity in their product launches and everything else. But I'm just telling you, when I first like kind of came up with this concept of for myself, when I came up with this concept of, taking products off the market regularly, it was like inspiration that I gained from watching Netflix. And I noticed how like on Netflix that, things would leave, and like there would be like this whole category of net on Netflix of things that were going to be leaving soon. And I noticed like whenever I saw that category, I was like, oh man, I got to look at this category. It's going to be leaving soon. And I realized the power that this kind of idea had, and it's basically scarcity, right? We're talking about scarcity creating urgency for your customers and your prospects, and that's basically what's happening with Netflix. Now with Netflix, of course, there's licensing involved. A lot of those situations are just they don't have the license any longer. The product's got to go bye because they never take their properties down. Their proprietary IPs never leave. I mean, you can watch Stranger Things anytime on Netflix. So a lot of that has to do with licensing. But in the case of digital marketers, in the case of digital publishers, right, you can use this retirement concept as well. And I believe, this is my opinion, okay? I believe that it's a little more powerful than just evergreen products, right? And I've used it over the years, because here's how I look at it, right? If I have a product on the market, right, for a year, right, so I'll have it and it'll have a boost when I first put it out, and then over the next few months, it's going to go down. It's going to dwindle down in attention to trickle in sales, especially because, like, if you think about it, in the world of digital products, people are launching products every day, right? Now, let's say you got a bunch of people who follow you and they're following your product launches. Well, you put this new one out and that's cool. And then, like, maybe next month you put another one out, right? Well, when you put that next one out, the spotlight kind of leaves the last one, right? You've moved on to promoting the next one. So now the last one is kind of delegated to trickle in sales. Okay. And that's how it kind of goes with the evergreen product. But what if, like, and this is what I kind of ask myself and what I started doing, what if like every year I just like take my stuff down? What if I take a bunch of it down? What if it's going to retire? So now you got a big boost at the beginning of the year. You got a big boost at the end of the year because you created this massive urgency because those products are coming down, right? They're going to be retired. So what happens, when you do that? Well, I wrote a few notes. So I wanted to share these with you guys so I wouldn't forget because I'm so flaky these days. I'm 49 years old. I'm almost 50. And like, I feel like Captain Flake a lot. I'm always forgetting what I want to say. Um, so like to me, here's the benefits for me. What I'm saying is if I got a boost of sales at the beginning of the year and then I have trickle in sales throughout the year, and at the end of the year, I shut the product down, I'm going to get another boost of sales from retiring the product. Okay. What happens when I do that? Okay. Number one, I'm going to get two giant boosts of sales, not just trickle in sales throughout the year. And if I happen to run a campaign on that product mid-year, then I got three giant boosts of traffic to that product. So that's three instead of one, right? Instead of just trickle in sales all year. And then what happens is for me, It's definitely not over, okay? Because for me, like the assets, once they're created, they're in my catalog now. Like just because I retire it, that's not the end. It's off the market for now, okay? But so what happens when I take a product off the market, okay? It has protected the perceived value of the product, okay? If I have a product, it's $47, I take it off the market, guess what it is now, right? It's priceless. It doesn't exist. Nobody can get it. So it went from being worth $47 to being worth like it could be anything, right? And the longer it stays off the market, the longer there is a disconnect with whatever you were charging for it, and what it's worth now, right? Because if instantly when you take that product off the market, the price is reset. It's reset to priceless, right? And then whenever you decide to put it back on the market, maybe you update it next year. Maybe you say, okay, let me revamp this product. I'll put it back on the market with some updated material. And guess what the price is going to be? It's going to be whatever you set it at, right? Because you reset the price as soon as you take it off the market. So when you take these products off the market, you protect the perceived value of the product, right? The next thing that I would say that I wrote down is you control the narrative, right? You control the narrative of the product. Um, I think that with information products, I don't know why I bother writing stuff down. I can't read my own writing. I swear it's like a kindergartner wrote this or something. What am I doing? Why do I even bother? Um, you control the narrative. What I tried to write here was control the narrative versus outdated product. Um, Big Mike Searle says brought back as updated or V2 or new and improved. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And bring it back at whatever price you want, you know? Um, you're controlling the narrative. When you retire the product, you control the narrative. Your product's not outdated, okay? It got taken off the market, right? It's like Michael Jordan retiring in his prime, okay? So like information products, I don't know if you noticed this, but they're not really like books. Okay. With a book, with a physical book, man, books age like fine wine. They age like fine wine, okay? And I don't think this is right, honestly, because man, there are some info products that I treasure, okay? There are some info products that I love. I see them as classics. I am an info product collector, okay? So I see them as classics, but the world does not. Okay? The world doesn't view info products like it views books. Like books age like fine wine. Info products info products age like Big Mike says, gotta keep moving here. Cam, keep up your good work, mate. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you. That was the PDF King in the house. My man. So yeah, info products don't age like fine wine. Info products age like milk. Okay. They age like milk. So you put it out and you get a lot of sales, and then it kind of dwindles down to trickle in sales. Okay. And, after a year or so, people will see it's older, it's kind of outdated, and it kind of develops this kind of thing where it's this outdated. You don't know if it's good anymore. When did this come out? Do I need this? I don't know. I want the newest stuff that just came out on this subject. I don't want something that's a year and a half old. If it's a year and a half old, maybe it's not going to work for me. Big Eliza in the house. How's it going, Eliza? So by taking your product off the market, after a while, you control the narrative of the product. Okay. And I think that's important. And it's important because it keeps your products valuable. All right. Another thing that you can do when you take these products off the market is you can reposition them. They maintain their leverage. Okay. So if I take them, just a couple weeks ago, I took a bunch of products off the market. I am serious. I closed down all my membership clubs. I closed down all my products. I took a bunch of products off the market. All right. But the thing you have to understand is all those products are still my assets. They still maintain their value. Okay. And I can reposition them. I can continue to use the leverage that they offer me as assets. For example, I'm getting ready to open this club called Epic Conversions Monthly, right? Epic Conversions Monthly. It's a really cool club. But one of the things Epic Conversions Monthly is going to have is it's going to have unlockable bonuses. It's going to have an unlockable bonus stack, right? And here's how this bonus stack works. You're going to have like, if you stay in my club like 1 month, the 1 month bonus unlocks. If you stay in 2 months, the 2 month bonus unlocks. And it's every single month. The bonus stack builds. So, in addition to the regular monthly cool stuff that you get in the club, you also are like building this bonus stack, right? And it's really cool. And it's something I'm happy to offer to my members, and it's something that's easy for me to provide to my members. Why is it easy for me to provide this unlockable bonus stack every month? Because I've been doing this for many years and I have a lot of products that I can offer. Why? Because I retire products. I don't leave them on the market indefinitely. Generally, for me, when I got a product that's a year old, I will evaluate it. Do I want to keep it on the market? Is it still cooking? Or is the sales kind of trickled off and dwindled off on this? Can I retire it? And sometimes I'll just pull them off the market. And sometimes if it fits into my schedule, I'll run a big retirement sale on it, right? And it'll boost sales again. But the point is, that bonus in ECM, that unlockable bonus stack that I'm telling you about, man, that is something that's going to increase retention in my membership club. Okay. That's going to take somebody from staying like 2, 3, 4 months to potentially staying like 12, 13, 14 months just because they feel like they're building this bonus stack. And they are. It's not like they just feel like they're building it and I'm tricking them. No, they're actually building this bonus stack and it's very valuable to them. Right. But the reason I can do that is because I retire products and they retain their value. The thing about it is, if you're working, right, if you're constantly putting new products out and you're constantly moving and shaking and doing new things, right, it's not a bad idea to retire some of the older stuff. Take it off the market. The market doesn't need it. Take it off the market. And what I think personally, I haven't tested this, but what I think personally is that product is more valuable to you coming off the market and cooling off for a while and then rejoining the market in a different way, like I'm doing with these unlockable bonus stacks here, than it is to you just sitting on the market and like collecting digital dust. Why you might get 1 or 2 sales a month on it, right? Now, look, if your product's cooking, if you've had a product up there for a while and it's cooking, you don't have to take it off the market, right? Let it roll. If it's rolling good, let it roll. That's what I say. But look, if they're just sitting up there trickling in a few sales a month, then take them off the market. There's no harm in it. You're actually going to increase the value of that product by taking it off the market. You get it on the market for $20, cool. It's retiring. It's retiring in 3 days. If you guys want it, you can go get it now. If you're on the fence with it, now's the time to get it because I'm taking it off the market in 3 days' time. Right? Why? Because it's time to put it to bed, man. I'm on to new stuff. I'm done with the old stuff. Whenever you're going to have like a retirement sale or any kind of sale, always give people a reason. You always got to give people a reason why you're doing things like that. Um, but yeah, man, that's my case. I was just thinking about it. I was just kind of thinking about it. Big Larry Brown in the house. What is up, man? I was just kind of thinking about it. I was just kind of thinking about it because, you know, when it comes to Epic Conversions monthly, I was working on the sales page and, I was able to work out that whole bonus stack for the entire year. And like, I'm able to drip out those bonuses to members for the entire freaking year, you guys. And I haven't had to create anything extra. And I have these amazing bonuses to give to people for the entire year. And all that does is increase my retention for my membership club. Now, a lot of that would not be possible if I had these products still on the market. Okay. If they were just sitting out there collecting digital dust, a sale here, a sale there, it's not the same thing, right? It's different when I retire things and I put them in the vault. It's like that Disney model from back in the day. You guys remember how Disney, they used to retire their movies, man. They had them out at the movie theater and then boom, they went in the vault. And then every once in a while, oh man, Snow White's coming out of the vault. It's coming out of the vault. So everybody runs. Everybody comes out of the woodwork. Some of you guys, this might be before your time. Some of you older cats know what I'm talking about. Everybody would run to buy these Disney movies for their kids, okay? Snow White. freaking The Little Mermaid, you know, Cinderella. They would come out of the woodwork to buy these, these Disney movies for their kids, man, because listen, once they go back in the vault, that's it. They're back in the vault. Okay. I can't get them anymore. There's nowhere to get them. Maybe it feels a little different now in this world of Amazon and eBay where we can just run online and we can find almost anything. But that's not true. That's really not true, man. Matter of fact, I was just reading about this movie just the other day called Toga. Okay. I wasn't reading, I was watching a video about this. This guy was talking about this movie Toga. Okay. And it was like a Netflix original, man. It had Willem Dafoe in it. Had Willem Dafoe in it, right? Or no, not Netflix. It was it was Disney Plus. Disney Plus, okay? Disney Plus. They were talking about Disney Plus putting this Toga movie out, Togo. And so what happens is there's this practice, and it's not just Disney Plus doing this. A lot of these places are doing it. What happens is, so if Disney Plus, let me make sure I'm saying this right. Basically, if they basically declare something a loss on their taxes, then they can claim it as a write-off, right? But in order to do that, the movie cannot be available anywhere. It can't be available on DVD somewhere. It can't be available on the streaming service somewhere. So these streaming services, like they're like taking all these movies off of their streaming services, declaring them as losses, saving a buttload of money. I'm telling you, like they saved like over $1 billion on taxes from just like writing off several of these movies, guys. And I'm talking about original production movies. They're great. Like that Toga movie looked like a pretty good movie, from what I saw. A good kids movie, you know? But anyways, you can't find it anywhere. If you want this movie, you have to go to eBay and buy a bootleg copy. So if you're sailing the seas of piracy, I think these streaming services are keeping piracy alive and well. That's what I think. But I just bring that story up because let me tell you something. The vault is alive and well. This idea of a vault is alive and well. This idea of something not being able to be easily attained, it's alive and well. Okay. I have a podcast that I did. It's good. It's going to be one of the bonuses in Epic Conversions Monthly. I think it's like month 6 or 7 bonus, unlockable bonus. And it was like an entire podcast that I did back in like 2021, moving into 2022. And I'm talking, I was doing this podcast 5 days a week, okay, for like over a year. And I did a lot of episodes. I did almost like 300 episodes on this thing. And I had some Patreon exclusive episodes because I was running it with like a Patreon connected to it. So like I had like the paid version of the podcast in Patreon, and I would have like extra episodes and stuff like that. And it was really cool. I didn't charge people very much for the Patreon. I think I charged like $2 for access to the Patreon or whatever. But when I was done with it, I took the whole podcast off the market. I retired it. Okay. I retired it. And it's been sitting in the vault ever since. You understand what I'm saying? It's been sitting in the vault ever since. And in fact, I did another product it was called One Step Away. It was the name of this podcast I did. And I did this, another product called the One Step Away Exit Journals, right? And these were like a series of like 11 audio journals, audio entries, where basically I talk about everything I learned doing One Step Away podcast, right? So it was really cool. And I got 2 products out of it. But that is all going to be an unlockable bonus. That product's coming back from 2021 and 2022 to like help my company and help my business in 2026. So that's amazing. Another podcast that I did was back in 2019. It was the Epic Conversions podcast. And I ran that one for like, I think 100 episodes. I was running it like 3 days a week. And I did it for a while. COVID broke out and I was still doing it. And I kind of wrapped it up around that time. And that freaking pandemic, man, my Lord, what a nightmare. I'm glad that crap's over. But anyways, So that podcast I did for a while, and then when I wrapped it up, what'd I do, you guys? I'll tell you what I did. I retired it. And very shortly after I retired that product, I said, "Man, I'm gonna package this up. I'm gonna turn it into a product. I'm gonna license it to other people to use these episodes of this podcast." It's like audio lessons, right? So yeah, I packaged it up and I licensed it. I called it Guru in a Box, and it was 100 audio lessons done with personality, right? And right there on the sales page, I made it very clear. I was like, "Hey, look, this was my podcast, but I closed it down. I took it down, and I am now going to license it to other people. You, of course, you give them a license, right? You give them I gave them a PLR license for it. They were free to edit out any kind of brand equity that I was building, any reference to epic conversions. They could cut that out if they wanted to. I put it right in the license. They had the right to do that. They could change it around if they wanted to. But I made several $1,000s licensing that podcast. But I did it because I retired it. I retired the podcast. And so, if you're out there right now, and you're putting content out there, and look, it can be anything, right? I'm talking down, like right now, people are posting like notes on Substack, right? They're posting notes like maniacs, like they're going out of style, posting notes. Well, every piece of content that you put out there, every post, every email that you write, I did a product last year. It was called 365 profit mailers is what I called it. And basically it was 365 of my emails that I had sent out to my list. Like I picked out 365 emails that were all profitable to me, and I packaged those up, licensed them, sold them to people who were on my list who were interested in it. And it was a nice little promotion. It was a good promotion, but that only happens because I'm looking at my assets, right? And every email that I write is an asset, right? It can be repositioned, it can be leveraged in a different way. So I guess what I'm saying is, like, I believe in the idea of retiring things over this idea of evergreen products, right? I don't really believe in evergreen. Nothing's evergreen, man. Like, I mean, think about it. Evergreen fundamentally goes against the natures of life, right? If you think about it, I'm not evergreen. Man, I'm going to be 50 this year. Does that sound like evergreen to you? I got in this business, you know, back in 2011. All right. I mean, that was like 15 years ago, man. Jeez. So 15 years ago, I was like 35, 35, 35, man. Freaking 35 15 years ago. And I'll tell you what, it went by in a blink. It went by in a blink. Didn't take long. I still remember my son being born. I remember watching him come out of my wife's belly. I remember holding him in the nursery just like it was yesterday. And now he's 17 years old. And it just goes by in a blink. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm not evergreen. Like, I'm not evergreen. I'm getting older every day, and as you guys are. So, like, me personally, I don't really believe in this evergreen nonsense. Yeah, I love the idea of it. I love the idea of things just sitting on the market and bringing in money for me, and that's fine. I'll leave stuff on the market for a while, let sales trickle in and stuff like that. Generally, what I'll do is I'll launch something at a price, right? Maybe $15, maybe $20. Now in 2026, I got a really high floor. I'm not launching anything for less than $100 this year. So my days of the $20 product have come to an end, at least for a little while. But I'll launch things at one price, and it'll be like a 4-day situation, and then I'll take the price up. Something's got to go away after the product launch. Maybe bonuses are removed. Maybe the price goes up. Something happens after that initial launch. If you don't do that, you're gonna lose out on urgency. You're gonna lose out on scarcity sales at the end of your little launch there. So something needs to change. But then I'll let the product sit on the market for a while, maybe a year, and then I'll look at it and I'll say, what can I do with this, man? I'm just going to retire this. Man, if I don't have a good reason to keep something out there, I'll just retire it. That's what I do. There's no reason not to. It's not like I retired it and forgot about it. I got it sitting in the bank, man. I got it sitting in the vault, like Disney, like old school Disney, back when they were still like really successful and everybody liked them. Old school Disney. Let me make sure make sure I preface that properly, okay? I'm not talking about new school Disney, the ones that get involved in your politics, okay? The ones to basically like segregate away half their audience and tell them they suck. I'm not talking about those guys. I'm talking about old school Disney who knew what the deal was. They knew what the deal was. They knew about the vault. They knew about the vault, man. Another cool thing that Disney did was they came out with these um I forget what they were called, but they were like they would come out with these like cheap ghouls. They call them cheap ghouls. Cheap ghouls. I don't think they officially called them that, but they were like these basically this is like back in the 90s, okay? They had like, "Oh, we got these big IPs. We spent a bunch of money on them. People came to the movies to see them. Man, let's do some sequels, but we'll have this separate like animation studio. They're going to be in charge of the sequels. We're not going to pay. It's going to be really done on the cheap. We're going to produce these cheap sequels. So you got like, you got like Aladdin 2 and Aladdin 3 and Aladdin 4, and they're all like direct to VHS releases. They didn't go to the movies. Okay. They were cheap ghouls, but that cheap ghoul brand, they made Disney a ton of money, man. They made a ton of money off those cheap pools. All right. That's a story for another day. It doesn't have anything to do with retirement of your assets. I'm just kind of going off on a rant now, but yeah, I don't know, man. That's kind of what I was thinking about. I was just thinking about how blessed I am to be able to add those unlockable bonuses for Epic Conversions monthly. And man, I tell you what, I added unlockable bonuses for like a year. I got 12 months of unlockable bonuses in there already to rock as soon as I launched this thing, man. And again, that's only because I retire products. That's why I'm able to do stuff like that, because I retire things, take them off the market, because your vault is valuable. The vault is valuable too. That's kind of like this. That's kind of like people always look at like digital products like when they're on the market. Oh, that's a product that's an asset for me. It's sitting there making me money. And they never think about the product that's not on the market and how that's an asset to you. It's not like a direct deal where it's making you money, but it's just sitting there. It's sitting there cooling off, you know? And at any moment, you could pull that sucker back out and get it making you money again. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't take much, man. Knock the digital dust off. Freaking Do you have anything else to say on that subject? You know what I mean? You got a product, you said something, do you have something else to say? Like, I'll tell you what, man, I did a product a few years ago, back when people were talking about NFTs all the time, right? And it was called Don't NFTs Me. That's what the product was called. Don't NFTs Me, man. And people liked it. It was cool. I didn't know anything about NFTs, and it was kind of like an over-the-shoulder product where I was like, okay, I don't know jack about NFTs. I'm going to do this product, man. You guys are going to learn about it with me, man. So if you don't know anything about NFTs, man, and you're trying to figure it out, you can join me, man. I'm going to invest some money in these things. I'm going to join some websites. We're going to figure this crap out together. And it was like an over-the-shoulder kind of case study product where I was basically educating myself and letting other people come along for the ride. And it did pretty good. People liked it. But the thing is, man, if that whole thing ever came back, if like NFTs somehow like miraculously tomorrow came back and they were the hot hand again, I'm cool. I got Don't NFTs Me in the vault. I can pull that back out. I can update it for 2026 and let's ride. You'll get the original and you'll get the new stuff I just added, right? So it'll be like a whole like kind of thing. But the asset's been created. You know what I mean? That world has already been created for Epic Conversions. This world of NFT, the NFT product has already been created. So yeah. And it's kind of like, to me, it's more valuable being retired than it is just sitting on the market. Like, can you imagine if I had a product called Don't NFTs Me just sitting on the market right now? Nobody gives a crap about NFTs right now. Nobody cares about NFTs, man. So if that's sitting on the market right now, you know what's happening? Nothing's happening. And I know you guys know what I'm talking about. You got these products that are sitting on the market. Nobody's buying them. Nobody cares. Dude, you know what? That's the downside of an evergreen product. people move on and forget about it. People are attracted to the newest thing. Of course, people want steady, people want solid, people want sustainable, people want what works, but they are always attracted to the newest thing, right? They're always getting pulled in by the hype, and the hype is always like vying for their attention, right? So your old stuff gets lost in the hype, man. It gets lost in the hype. So what I'm saying is sometimes it's better to pull this stuff down, let it cool off in the vault, and you just wait for the right time to pull it back out and use it as you need it. So that's my philosophy on retiring products versus, evergreen products. So anyways, I don't know, I'm just kind of rambling. Hope you guys are doing well on a Saturday night here. I didn't really think I was going to do one of these today because it was Saturday, man. The day got away from me, but here I am. I got it in. I got it in. Hope you guys are doing amazing, man. I'm gonna get off here, go hang out, read a book or something, hang out with my family, and you guys have a fantastic Saturday. Keep it between the ditches out there. Don't do anything stupid. I'll see you guys later. Peace now.